Om Shanti, 18th January. These sweet elevated versions are to be read in the morning class on the day of remembrance of our beloved Pitashri Ji, Prajapita Brahma. Sweet children, your activity has to be very royal. You are becoming deities and therefore your aim, its qualifications, and whatever you say and do should be the same. Song: Having found you, I have found the whole world. Om Shanti. Sweetest spiritual children heard the song. Now there are a few children, and there will then be many children. Everyone has to know Prajapita Brahma. Those of all religions will accept him. Baba has explained that even Lokik fathers are limited Brahmas. There, the genealogical tree is created by their surname. This then is unlimited. His name is Prajapita Brahma. There, it is a limited Brahma who creates children, limited. Some may have 2 to 4 children, and some would not create any. For this one, you cannot say that he does not have any children. The whole world are his children. The unlimited Bap and Dada both have a lot of spiritual love for you sweetest children. He educates you children with so much love and makes you something great from what you were. So, the mercury of happiness of you children should rise so high. The mercury of happiness will rise when you constantly continue to remember the Father. The Father does the service of purifying you children with a lot of love every cycle. He purifies everyone together with the 5 elements. He changes you from shells into diamonds. This is such huge unlimited service. The Father continues to give teachings to you children with a lot of love because it is the duty of the Father and the teacher to reform the children. Only by following the Father's Srimad do you become elevated. You children should note down in your chart whether you are following Srimad or the dictates of your own mind. Only with Srimad will become accurate. The more loving your intellect is for the Father, the more you will remain full of incognito happiness. Ask your heart, do I have the explosive, dynamic happiness? Do I have unadulterated remembrance? Do I have any desires? Am I remembering the one Father? Only when the discus of self-realization continues to turn should the soul leave the body, belong to one Shiv Baba and none other. This is the final mantra. The Father asks you children, sweet children, when you see Bap Dada in front of you, does it enter your intellects that your Baba is your Father and also your teacher and Sadguru? The Father is taking us from this old world to the new world. This old world is now about to finish. It is now of no use. The Father makes the world new every cycle, and we become Narayan from an ordinary human every cycle. Children should churn this and have so much enthusiasm. Children, there is now very little time. What are you today and what will you be tomorrow? This is a game of today and tomorrow. And this is why you children should not make any mistakes. The activity of you children should be very royal. Look at yourself and see whether your activity is like that of the deities. Is your head, brain like that of the deities? Are you becoming what your aim is, or do you just speak about it? You should remain intoxicated with the knowledge that you have received. To the extent that you remain introverted and think about these things, so you will experience a lot of happiness. You children also know that there is little time remaining to go to that world from this world. Since you have left that world behind, why should you look back? Why does your intellect's yoga go in that direction? You have to do everything with your intellect. Since you have gone beyond, why should your intellect be pulled? Do not think about things that have passed. Do not have any expectations in this old world. Now, you just have to have one elevated hope. We now have to go to our land of happiness. You must not stop anywhere or look anywhere else. Just continue to move ahead. Continue to look in only one direction, for only then will your stage become unshakable, immovable, and stable. Times are becoming very delicate, and the conditions of this old world are getting worse. You have no connection with it. Your connection is with the new world, which is now being established. The Father has explained that the cycle of 84 births have now finished. This world is now definitely going to finish. It is now in a very serious condition. At this time, it is the elements that are getting angry the most, and this is why they finish everything. You now know that the elements are going to show their anger very strongly and will drown the entire old world. There will be floods and fires, and people will starve to death. All the buildings will fall in the earthquakes. There will be all these conditions for the whole world. Death will take place in many different ways. They will release such gas bombs that people will just die from their bad fumes. This whole drama plan is created, and no one can be blamed for it. Destruction is definitely going to take place, and this is why you have to remove your intellect's yoga away from this old world. Now, you would say, Vaha Sadguru, to the one who has shown you this path. Our truest Guru is the one Baba alone, and his name has still continued on the path of devotion and is praised. You children would say, Vaha Sadguru Vaha, Vaha Fortune Vaha, Vaha Drama Vaha. We are receiving salvation through the Father's knowledge. You children have become instruments to establish peace in the world. So, tell everyone the good news that new Bharat and a new world in which Lakshmi Narayan ruled is being established once again. This world of sorrow has to change and become the land of happiness. Internally, you should have the happiness that you are becoming the masters of the land of happiness. There, no one will ask you whether you are happy and content or whether your health is okay. These questions are asked in this world because this is the world of sorrow. No one can ask you children these questions. You would say, we are the children of God, and so how can you ask us about our welfare? We are always happy and content. There is even greater happiness here than in heaven, because having found the Father who establishes heaven, you have found everything. You were concerned about the one Father who lives beyond in the element of Brahma, and now that you have found him, who else can you be concerned about? You should always have this intoxication. You have to be very royal and very sweet. Now is the only time to make your fortune elevated. The main method to become multi-million times fortunate is to move with caution at every step and to be introverted. Always pay attention. Whatever actions I perform, others who see me will do the same. Body consciousness, etc., is the seed of vices that has been sown for half the cycle. These seeds are throughout the whole world. They now have to become merged. Seeds of body consciousness must not be sown. Now, seeds of soul consciousness have to be sown. It is now your stage of retirement. You have found the most beloved Father, and He alone must be remembered. To remember your body or bodily beings instead of the Father is a mistake. You also have to become soul conscious. Make a lot of effort to become cool. Sweet children, you must never become distressed with this life of yours. This life has been remembered as invaluable. You have to look after it and also earn an income. However, many days you stay here, you will continue to remember the Father and earn plenty of income, and your karmic accounts will continue to be settled. Therefore, never get fed up. Children ask, Baba, when will the golden age come? Baba says, children, first of all, at least make your stage karmatit. Whatever time you have, make effort to become karmatit. Children need to have a lot of courage to become destroyers of attachment. If you want to claim your full inheritance from the unlimited Father, you have to become a destroyer of attachment. You have to make your stage very elevated. You belong to the Father, and so you have to become engaged in the Father's alaukic service. A very sweet nature is needed. It is nature that harasses people a lot. Continue to check yourself with the third eye of knowledge that you have received. Whatever defects you have, remove them and become a pure diamond. If there is the slightest defect, your value would be decreased. Therefore, make effort and make yourself a valuable diamond. The Father is now inspiring you to make effort in connection with the relationships of the new world. Sweet children now have a relationship with the unlimited Father and the inheritance of unlimited happiness. It is only the one unlimited Father who liberates you from bondage and takes you into the alaukic relationships. Always have the awareness that you are those who have godly relationships. These godly relationships give constant happiness. Acha, to the sweetest, long lost, and now found, beloved children, to the deeply loving children, love and remembrance from the depths of the heart, with a lot of love from Mother and Father and Bab Dada. Good morning. The spiritual Father says Namaste to the spiritual children. The spiritual children says Namaste to the spiritual Father. Teachings to celebrate 18th January, the day of remembrance, as a day of power for all time. 18th January 79. Today, all the children were especially more in remembrance of the corporeal form and in the awareness of being embodiments of love. The corporeal Father who became the subtle Father was merged in everyone's eyes. Since Amritvela, the message of the remembrance of children from this land and abroad has been spreading everywhere in the subtle region and creating a special atmosphere. The subtle region was decorated with garlands of tears of love. Each child was lost in love for Father Brahma. The sounds from the hearts of the lovers everywhere were reaching Bab Dada. The beautiful sounds of the Father's praise coming from each one's mind was echoing like music in the subtle region. The lamps of each one's hopes were alight and thereby making the subtle region sparkle. Bab Dada was smiling on seeing the children's love. Children from this land and abroad had reached the subtle region with their intellect's yoga. Father Brahma also became lost in the ocean of children's love. He was absorbed in the love of the children and giving the return of their remembrance. Children asked the father, "Why did you live and go and reside in the subtle region by yourself before all of us?" This was the question filled with love that the majority of children were asking. The father said, "At the beginning of the task of creation, only one became an instrument in the corporeal form. Only one received the telegram from Alpha. Only one became an embodiment of complete renunciation for the sake of service." On seeing this, the children followed the Father. The Father became the number one instrument in both renunciation and fortune. So now, too, at the end, in order to elevate the children and make them avyakt, the Father had to become a resident of the subtle region. He had to adopt the subtle region, a place higher than the corporeal world. The Father now says, "Now make yourself and service complete, the same as the Father. Become a resident of the subtle region, the same as the Father. Bagdada is still, even now, invoking you. What are you waiting for? Are you waiting for the drama? Within the drama, too, what is the reason that instrumental? Simply have the determination to imbibe one small thing, and the meeting will become eternal, just as today you have remained stable in the stage of easy yogis, constant yogis, and belong to the one Father and none other. So now claim this blessing too for all time. What will happen then? This separation will end for all time, and you will remain constantly in the celebration of being together. Change from being an embodiment of love into being an embodiment that is equal. Whoever you love, the form of that love is that you would like the same thing that the one whom you love likes. Your way of walking, eating, drinking, and everything else you do would be just as the one you love likes. You love the Father, but do you know what He loves? What does the Father constantly like? Not what you like, but what the Father, whom you love, likes. Whatever thought you have or whatever act you perform, first consider whether the Father whom you love would like it. If the Father doesn't like it, then other people too would not like it. It is such a tiny thing. You just have to move along according to what the one you love likes. You can give this much return all the time, can you not? What is difficult about giving this much in return for the love of all relationships? Celebrate today's day of remembrance as the day of power for all time. Have the thought, "I like whatever the Father likes. I have to remain constantly loved by the Father and loved by the people." From today, the day of power, all of you children should each give your finger of determination to put an end for all time to the unaged mountain of all the weaknesses, of hopelessness, of being influenced by the sanskars of others, and of being attracted to people and things that only give you limited attainments. This means that you have to become victorious for all time. Victory is your tilak. Victory is the garland around your neck. Victory is your birthright. Constantly maintain this form of power. This is the return of love. Therefore, Baba asks you children, Brahma Baba, imbibed the essence of knowledge and gave you children the courage to follow the Father. He gave the final versions through the corporeal form as an invaluable gift. Have you put this gift into practice? In return for this gift, have you revealed the Father by becoming the practical form of it? Have you put the three words into practice? Incorporeal, egoless, and viceless. To put this into practice would be to give the return of love you receive from the corporeal one. It is through these three words that the Father attained his karmatit stage. Therefore, follow the Father. Sakar Baba demonstrated this by making his stage like a pillar. You have created this tower of peace as a memorial of this. The same applies to you. You have to become pillars of all virtues so that the souls of all religions will accept you as the pillars that are the embodiment of all virtues. Become a pillar of power and peace, and same as Adipita, the first father, in front of the world. Babdada is giving multi-million-fold love to all the loving children in return for their messages of love. Now remain constantly multi-million times fortunate, Acha, to those who are constant embodiments of remembrance of the Father, and thereby embodiments of power to those who constantly do that which the Father likes, to those who transform themselves and the world in a second with determined thoughts, to those who remain as stable as a pillar of power and peace in front of the world, to the long lost and now found children who are close to the Father, Bapdada's love, remembrance, and namaste. The spiritual children says namaste to the spiritual Father. Blessing, may you be a perfect angel who fulfills all relationships with one and remains free from all sides. Description: when something is being cooked and it is almost ready, it begins to leave the sides of the pan. Similarly, as you continue to come closer to your complete stage, you will accordingly continue to step away from all sides. When you step away from all bondages with your attitude, that is, when you don't have attachment to anyone, you will then become a perfect angel. To fulfill all relationships with one is the destination. It is through this that you will experience your final destination of the angelic life to be close, and the wandering of the intellect will stop. Slogan: love is such a magnet that it brings close those who defame you. Special homework to experience the Avyak stage in this Avyak month. On the basis of faith and spiritual intoxication, Father Brahma came to know the guaranteed destiny and used everything in a worthwhile way in a second. He didn't keep anything for himself. So, the sign of love is to use everything in a worthwhile way. To use something in a worthwhile way means to use it for an elevated purpose. Om Shanti.